Hello, it's Erin, geblankensmith, and today I'm doing a tutorial on how I apply my concealer and foundation every day. So let's get started. Because I do have lots of scarring from acne from this past summer, as you can see on this side, and over here on this side, I have to use some pretty heavy-duty concealer. I use Physicians Formula. This is Conceal RX Physician Strength Concealer. It's in Fair Light. Some pretty thick concealer, but it does the job. What I do is I open it up, take a little bit on my hand. Usually I do this in the morning after I blow dry my hair, so my hand's pretty warm from that. Just get a little blop on my hand and mush it out a little bit. Take my handy dandy little mirror that I use for everything, and I just start dabbing. I don't rub it all, I just pat it on. And as I get to the edges, I just pat it out to where it fades out a bit. I know the lighting is not the best in here, but I have kiddos and they're in bed now, and of course it's dark outside. And it's the only time I had to do it, so just go over the worst parts of it and really try and cover that up really well. Again, just patting. Don't know how well you can see this. I'm on my point and shoot camera, which is the only thing I have that will upload onto my computer. So that's what I use. Then with the little bit that I have left, I use it to slightly go over some other spots that maybe aren't as dark. So there you go, concealer. So next we'll move on to covering up under eye darkness. And I use Abbott's Perk Me Up by Everyday Minerals. Take a little bit into the lid. I don't know how well you can see that. Get a little bit on my ring finger. And I just kind of smear it on a little bit. Put it on dry. For me, I'm so fair-skinned that it blends out really well that way. If I try and put it on over like a base or a wet application of foundation, it clumps up and then it just looks really orange. So just use enough to where that darkness goes away. Then I take my Everyday Minerals concealer brush, which I like, and I dab the side of it just here. I used to have some darkness right in the crease of my nose there, and so just from some blackheads and stuff like that, and so just dab that in there. Smear it around some. There's no exact way to do it. You can just do it to where it kind of lightens that area up a bit. Then underneath my eyes, to kind of cover up the orangish, I guess it would be peach, the peachy color bit, I use my Everyday Minerals Pressed Powder Foundation in Ivory. I originally bought this to use as a foundation, but it's way too light for my skin, which shocked me. So I use it kind of, it's like an under eye brightener, and I just, again, put a little bit on the ring finger and just run it under. Just smear it out. Just to cover up. And for this part, I do like to use my fingers. Their brushes are great at Everyday Minerals, but I just like to use my fingers for this part. This is really great because you can also use it a little bit as a contouring. Like I don't do this every day, but like down your nose, right in here, around your eyes. It's kind of like it's a highlighting. And you don't even have to be real precise with it because I haven't put on my foundation yet. And so it'll just kind of buff out. Alright, here. And also chin and the bottom of my lip. Okay, now that we've concealed, before I put on foundation, I like to put on a touch of start to finish fair. And just take a little bit on, this is a Bare Essentials Flawless face brush. And I just put a touch on my nose and forehead, cheeks right in here, chin. Any place you tend to get a little bit oily, this helps control it and absorb it. It has some clay, I don't know how to say it, kaolin, something like that. Anyway, it's got clay in there and it helps absorb the oil. Then I move on to foundation. I am using Everyday Minerals Intensive in the color Linen. It's in the Buff family. And I just take a little bit. I use my flat top brush. I love this brush. It's so, so soft. You just take a little bit in there and get it into that brush. Tap it off a little bit. And here's the key. I'm covering up where I put that pretty thick concealer, and it's tacky right now. So I don't brush it on. I just like stipple it on right where I put that heavy foundation or concealer. And then once it's all stippled on, or I don't know, dabbed on, then you can start to buff it out. Take a little bit more. The nose and the cheeks and forehead. Basically, you're just going to buff. Buff, buff, buff. Go over the under eyes a little bit so it blends in. Make sure you get your nose well where you put the peach. You don't want to have weird peach places on your face. I apologize if the mirror gets in the way. I'm not used to having a camera right there. So I bring it down a little bit. I don't know if you can hear this, but my beagle is howling out in the backyard, or baying. I think there's a squirrel or something out there that he's trying to find. A little bit more if you need it. Now, I'm not one of those people, when it comes to foundation, that I like to cover every single little teeny tiny imperfection on my face. I don't mind if you see my pores a little bit. I don't mind if you see freckles and stuff like that, because I think it's just part of your face, and that's what you're supposed to look like. If you want a completely flawless finish look, this is not it. I just really wanted to brighten up eye area, cover up acne scarring, things like that. To finish it off, I do finish with the Start to Finish in Fair. And this I'm going to use all over my face. It's really good as a setting powder for all the cheeks right there. I just go with a really light layer over the rest. If you find that you become a little bit oily during the day, I don't usually, but you do, you can just dab off the oil with some like blotting paper or something like that, and then add a little bit more of your Start to Finish. I like this a lot better than the Bare Essentials Mineral Veil. I don't know, I just like it better. It's a nice light finish.